Okay guys, and welcome back to a new video on programming with modern FORTRAN. Okay, now in the last video we discussed the concept behind control structures, and we said we have three kinds of control structures: the sequential structure, the branch also called the conditional, and then the repetitive also called the loop. In this video we are going to be looking at the conditional control structure, and to be precise we'll be looking at the if statements. Now the if statement is one kind of compound statement that brings about the implementation of the branch structure. Okay, like the word implies, if. So you're only going to do something if a particular condition is satisfied. If it is not satisfied, then that thing is not going to be done. Okay, so look at the structure of the if statement in FORTRAN. It's a compound statement. For that reason, we have something that looks like this. We have the keyword if. So we have if, then there is going to be a condition here. So let's say this is a condition. So if this condition is satisfied, something needs to happen, right? Or something needs to be done. So we say then, if this condition is satisfied, then what? We have a block of code there. So this block of code we have here will only get executed if this condition is satisfied. So if condition, then block of code. Okay, that's what we have there. Then thereafter, every if statement needs to come with an end if. So you're ending the if block with this. So now don't mind my indentation. Okay, you can decide to place this on the same line here. It's still going to work out fine, but I love indenting this block of code so that I know where a particular structure starts and where it ends. Okay, so that's the reason we have it. So this is only going to be triggered when a particular condition is satisfied. If it is not satisfied, then it doesn't get triggered. So we are going to see how this actually works. Let's see. Let's use our IDE, Plateau as usual. So I'll open a new file. Okay, we have a new file. Then let's see. Let me zoom this in and then. Okay, so we have program. Let's say the program name is conditional. That's the program name. Then as usual, we are going to say end program. Then we still have conditional. I'm just going to copy this and paste here. So between these two, I have everything I want to write. So what I want to do here is I want to look at two numbers and only print if the first number is larger than the second number. That's the only time I want to print out something. Otherwise, I'm not going to print out. So I say the first number, let's say the first number is x, and that should be 12. And let's say the second number is y, and y should be 56. So I only want something to be triggered when x is greater than y. Otherwise, I don't want anything to be done. So I have to ask the question. I'll say if x is greater than y, okay, then what do I want to happen? Then I want to go ahead and write, or I want to print, okay, x is larger. I just want to print that x is larger. And thereafter, I'll end if. So I'm just going to end the if clause there. So that's what I have. So this is the program. Very simple. Let's try to build this program, save it, and execute it to see what's going to work for us. So I have to save this as usual. So I'm going to save it here. I'll save it as conditional 1. Okay, so it's been saved. Let's try to run it and see. So start run. So let's see if anything will get printed out. And x is larger. How come? Is x actually larger? Oh, we made a mistake. I said if x is greater than y. So because of the condition, you can see it's actually printing. So I've corrected it. I want it to only get printed when x is larger than y, but I did it the other way around. So let's try this time around, and we'll notice that nothing will be printed out because x is not actually greater than y. So you see it's not printing anything, it's just giving us press return to close the window. So the only time something will be printed out is when I make the value of x to possibly greater than the value of y. So let's say the value of x now remains 12, I make the value of y to be 5. If I build this and then I run this again, this time around it's going to print that x is larger because the value of x is actually greater than the value of y. So this is how the conditional control structure works. It only gets triggered when a particular criteria is satisfied or a particular condition is satisfied. But what if you wanted to print x is larger whenever x is greater than y, or you wanted to print y is larger when y is greater than x? So what do? So this brings us to the next structure that we call the if-else statement. Okay, so what we need to do is just to modify this and have the if-else statement, and this is how that works. After the if, I'm saying if x is greater than y, then print x is larger. But I'm going to have another part that is else prints that y is actually larger. So I'll say y is larger. So if x is not greater than y, print that y is larger. Okay, so I have then else I'm going to print this. So you're still going to have your end if here. So you're saying this should be done, but if that is not the case, then this should be done. So if x is greater, say x is larger, otherwise print y is larger. Okay, that's what wants to be done. Okay, so now let's try it out and see. I'm going to build this and then let's start in one, and let's see. It's going to tell me that x is larger in this case because x is actually larger than y. But let's change the value of y to 57 and go ahead to build and then start one, and this time around it will tell me that y is larger. Okay, so now it's saying y is larger instead of x is larger. But what will happen if I made the value of x to be the same thing as the value of y? So x is 12 and y is also 12. If I run it this time around, what do you think we are going to get as a result? So I wonder why. Okay, I know why. I'd have to wonder why. So let's try to end this. I didn't. Okay, so go back, run this, and let's see. Now x and y, they have the same value, so nothing will be printed out because y is larger is going to be printed out. But remember, we said if x is greater than y, print that x is larger, otherwise print that y is larger. So in this case, x and y are actually equal, but here it is printing that y is larger, and that's not meant to be the case. So we need to modify this program. Now for us to modify this program, it will lead us to the next structure that we have as the if structure. So take note, first we have the if construct, which is taking just one option. Next we have the if else construct, which has an alternative. So finally we have the if else if structure. Okay, this one can take as much alternative as possible. You can give it 3, 4, 5, as any number of alternatives. This one can only take 2 alternatives. Okay, so this is how that works. So I can say if x is greater than y, then print x is larger. Else if y is greater than x, then go ahead and print that y is larger. But if x is not greater than y and y is not greater than x, then the only option we have there is to say x and y are equal. So here we now have else. Now you can print that x and y are equal. Okay, that's what we have now. So let's try this and see if it's going to work out fine. So I'm going to build, hopefully we have no error, and then we run. So this time around it's going to tell me that x and y are equal, because actually they are equal. So this is what you have according to the conditional control structure. Okay, so in the next program we are going to use this to build a program that is going to check for the grade of an individual. Okay, I'll give you the scheme for the grade that we're going to work with, and then we use that to write a program to check the grade of an individual based on the score that will be given. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.